You know, the beautiful thing about this whole conversation is that I never know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I know what my sentiment is. And so when we have these conversations, we have it in truth, we have in it to help you to understand, and we're going to give you the insight. First, let me ask y'all a question. Which watch do y'all think that I should go with? Pull it up there. I'm strongly considering because, you know, I love the presidential right here. But this is my baby. This is my first one. I was thinking about going with this one right here. The my sub. See how beautiful it is? It still looks like it's brand new. It still looks like the very first day that I purchased it. Still look like the first day that I purchased it. But I don't think that I'm gonna go with the sub today. But let me just put it on just for the sake of conversation. Before we get started, holding these hyenas accountable. Because I've been running into y'all a lot lately. See that? See how beautiful that boy is? Big dog. Big dog. Big dog in the building. Don't worry. I'm a drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to cam up. Give you my thoughts and then give you an opportunity to be able to cam up and say whatever it is that you want to say. Y'all like that one? Think I should rock with that one? Let me give you another alternative. This is my other favorite watch. I've been crushing on this watch a lot. This is actually my favorite watch to wear right now. Before we get into it, this isn't even a Rolex. This is an Omega. So this ain't for the kiddies right here. This is for the people that actually understand the watch brands. All right. This is the. Look at the rose gold. Let me show you something. See that? Shout out to the bag chasers. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. This is rose gold. This is rose gold, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't for the weak at heart. All right, let me show you the back of that joint. See the back? Got them shook. Because ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Scared to death. They scared to look. They shook. Ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Scared to death. They scared to look. They shook. When I see people, and I can tell who a bag chaser and who not. You said wear the Omega. Lockhart perspective, we're going to rock with the Omega. We're going to rock with the Omega. Not the Rolex. We're not going to go Rolex tonight. We're going to go. Actually, this matches my shirt, so we're going to roll with this one tonight. I can always tell people that's not a part of the Patreon, people that's not bag chasers, or let me give y'all one more option. Let me give y'all one more option before we go with the Omega. All right? We can go with the Datejust. We can go with that one. Big dog. Big dog. Now, I've been wearing this one a little bit more off camera more, and that's why you can see a little bit of the wear on it. But it just needs to be polished a little bit. What y'all think about that one? I'm going to go with the Omega, though. I'm going to go with the Omega. So, before we get started with the show, let me say that make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Teach Hanley, sponsor of the live stream. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you do not have that Teach pack, make sure you get it. We rocking with that. I seen somebody in the chat and they said, what did they say? Hold on, let me see. They said, donate that watch to orphans. You donate your watch to orphans. You donate your stuff to orphans. That's the stuff. Look, this is what they say. You can't take that watch with you to the afterlife. These are the things that poor people say. Nobody that has resources, because actually the Bible itself, and I'm not going to get into the whole spiritual talk, but the Bible itself is literally a blueprint for success. And that's why I say, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. One of my favorite scriptures. And some of the most phenomenal, richest people that's ever walked the face of the earth were God's favorite. And so what they will try to teach you is that money doesn't matter. But what I will tell you, and what they don't understand the bag chasers are, is it's just a slogan because it sounds good. But the reality is that we become the best version of ourselves, understanding that the money, the women, the success, the great marriages, all of the other things that's great about life come along with it if you go about doing it the right way. So if you're not a Patreon member, if you're not a bag chaser, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But we're not going to continue to harp on that. We have fish to fry, ladies and gentlemen. We don't do that broke talk over here. So if you want to go and advocate for your brokies, then go somewhere else with it, because that's not what we do here. We get the bags. We really bag getters. We bag catchers. But bag chasers sound a little bit better. Anyways, let's continue. So this morning, I started to get into my bag a little bit, right? And we started to talk about the nature, the purpose, and the inherent objective of what women are supposed to be doing and what their true nature is, right? And so, for example, I illustrated, and I'm going to break this down, and then I'm going to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to cam up and say whatever it is that you want to say to me, to my face. Make sure you got good lighting, and make sure that your audio is working, because we don't want to hear no dusty arguments, right? The inherent nature of people. Let's remove it from women real quick, and then I'm going to bring it full circle for you. The inherent nature of people, and one of the reasons why you see it so difficult for people today, and they're having such a hard time with their identity, and they having basically a crisis amongst themselves and within themselves as to who they truly are. And you see this big old argument that's taking place in popular culture where people are trying to figure out whether or not you are born this way. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're talking about, right? People can say you're born behind an 8 ball. They can say you're born with regard to your sexuality. The big conversation that's happening today is based off of who people think that they are versus what it is that they feel like. Now, anybody that knows me, especially if you're talking to men, I don't really care about how you feel. As a matter of fact, my favorite slogan is "fuck your feelings," because your feelings has no place when we're talking about the truth. And one of the beauties of what it is that we stand for today, or the environment in which we live in today, and being born, in a time and living in 2023, is that we're able to lean off of the lessons of yesteryear, and we have the technology to be able to source and pay attention to what happened from the people that came before us, right? So I'll give you an example. I can lean into the data and I can say, well, we know overwhelmingly women are the ones that leave marriages, especially when they have children. They are the ones that choose to leave, and even though it doesn't play out in their best interest, and men are generally held accountable as a result of whatever it is that they do in life, that women still feel comfortable enough, even though they advocate for equal and they advocate against equal when it comes to things that they think is going to be worse for them, they're still inherently in their mind a submissive being. They're a lower tier of human, and that's just the way God made them. You were made from another man. You were not formed based off of what God identified or seen himself in you, and then you were born from the man's ribs specifically, right? And so when we start to pay attention to the hierarchy of things, God over man, man over woman, woman over child, you start to source through and evaluate, well, what is the true nature of a man? What is the true nature of a child? Why does the Bible itself say and talk about specifically childish things, and when you become a man, you need to put that thing away? And it talks about the nature of women, and then identifies it, and then it uses multiple different examples. You can go from Samson, you can go to Adam, you can go to Eve, you can go to so many different people, even with regard to Jesus himself and how it is that he operated, right? He gave grace and he gave mercy. And he also specifically highlighted and talked about how he didn't even look at his own mother as his family. His family was the people that's going in the direction that he's going. And his purpose is what he should be paying attention to, not the people that are pulling on him, specifically women, even the ones that birthed him specifically, or is the closest to him His purpose was more important than her. And so when I see guys, and I talk to guys on a regular basis, and they leaning so heavily into making sure that they do things for a woman, I know you're not living in your purpose. Don't worry, we're going to get to the hyenas shortly. I know you're not living in your purpose. You're not doing the thing that's actually best for you. You're not doing the thing that's best for your family. You don't understand that you being selfish before you be selfless is actually putting your family in a better position to be successful. Let me say that one more time, because I haven't talked about this on the Millionaire Morning Show lately. You being selfish before you're selfless actually puts your family in a better position to be successful. How can you help somebody and you can't even help yourself? I see so many dusty dudes on a regular basis. Specifically, I've been seeing a lot of white men, poor white men that can't even get any kind of submission in their own household, can't even pay their own bills. If they went 3 months without a paycheck, they'd be homeless, arrested, and thrown in jail for loitering. Poor white men have become literally the punching bag of the United States of America, sitting here trying to give us advice on how it is that we need to be operating within our masculinity. How?